David, with yourself being through the process with 13 already, having sort of got to that C1 grade, and now obviously sort of working through that with Stonewater as well, I wondered if you wouldn't mind starting for us on sort of what the preparations look like. And I know when we discussed this, we kind of talked about that this kind of regime, whilst seen as new to many, maybe sort of is quite aligned to sort of previous regulation in the past. I wonder if we could start there, if that's okay with yourself.
That is a challenge for the sector, and the way that some of the language that we've used around consumer regulation is built up this massive creature and this massive entity, if you like, where there's a bit of a fear of the unknown. And I think when you look back, if you go back to the previous regulatory regime under the Homes and Communities Agency, weirdly we had four standards. They weren't called consumer standards, but there was four standards, and you had within it tenant involvement and empowerment, the home, tenancy, neighbourhood, and community. Now, at a very high level, two of those names are exactly the same as they are today. But essentially, when you look at the criteria that's in there, there's probably about 85% of them is exactly the same as the old regulatory framework. I think you can go even further back, and I have the fortunate or unfortunate guise of this to what were the key lines of inquiry and the Audit Commission inspections that we used to go through in the early 90s. And actually, the process that we are looking at now is very much taking us back, I feel, to that, in that kind of tell me and then show me manner. And that is ultimately what I think a lot of us that are going through this really need to think through and understand, that actually a lot of this isn't new. It's badged up as being new, but it's actually quite a tried and tested path. And actually, if we've got that information and we've got that ability to show, then that's great. If we haven't, as you kind of touched on, Jacob, in your intro, it's, and what are you doing about it? And I think having that close to the forefront of everyone's mind as we think about the regulatory inspection is vital for everyone.